Welcome back to the 5 holes, 3 birdie challenge. Let's go.
Welcome back, guys. We are at Tropicana Golf Club today and we're going to be playing the last 5 holes of my round today, where we're going to be trying the 5 hole 3 birdie challenge again. So we're starting off with this par 4. It's a pretty difficult par 4 to start off on because this is a long par 4. A little bit narrow of a tee shot, but not too bad. Basically trying to get it somewhere in between the bunker and the trees on the left side there, and just try to get myself somewhere in the fairway so that I can hit a good approach shot into this green. I managed to hit it on the fairway today with about 160 yards to go, so I decided to go with my 7-iron. This green is a little bit tiered, so you do kind of want to try to get it up to the right tier. Today the pin's in the center tier, so we do have a little bit of green to work with. Just trying to get my distance control right with this one to hopefully set myself up for a good birdie opportunity. So unfortunately it drew more than I was expecting it to, so it ended up just on the apron here. Not too bad of a shot. From there I saw that it was uphill and into the green, and obviously I was trying to chip this in because that's the only way I'd be getting a birdie on this hole, and definitely got way too aggressive with that. It was a pretty simple chip, but I think just because I was trying to be so aggressive, I left myself with not an easy putt left for this par save on this hole. So some of you guys have been asking about my opinion on this putter, and to be honest, I think one of the things that I like most about it is I feel like when I miss a putt, it's because I misread it. Like for that putt, I thought that it was going to be a right to left breaker based on the way I saw my chip going past the hole, but it actually turned out to be a pretty straight putt. So yeah, that's one of the things that I definitely have taken away from this putter. I feel like most of the time when I miss it, it's because I misread the line. So not the best of starts, but we've got a little bit more friendly hole here. So for this tee shot, it's pretty simple. I can't get to that right bunker, so as long as I hit it anywhere left of it, it should be fine. The tricky part of this hole is definitely going to be the approach into this green. So we successfully hit the fairway, but like I said, the difficult part of this hole is definitely going to be the approach shot. It's a pretty firm green, so even though it's playing 129, I'm only playing about a 120 carry. So everything rolls away from where we're hitting. That's why it's usually pretty firm and runs out quite a lot. And towards the left, everything will go into a water hazard as well, so you definitely want to favor the right side of this green. So I managed to get my approach shot pin high, which set me up for a good look here to hopefully roll this in for a birdie. So we managed to secure our first birdie there as we move on to the next hole, which is a par 5. One of the reasons why I like this 5 finishing holes as well is because it kind of goes par 4, par 4, par 5, par 3, par 5. So it makes it interesting, and it's definitely not easy holes, but it's definitely scoreable as well. And I also just think that it's important to learn to finish well. So yeah, let's see if we can make another birdie on this hole. So this par 5 is pretty straightforward. As soon as you hit the fairway, you can pretty much just try to hit as far as you possibly can. It's 235 yards, but it's also a little bit of an elevation dip before the green, so most of the time when you land short of the green, it's not going to run up. So I know that I'm most likely not going to get it on the green, but just trying to get this as close as I can. So after my second shot, I have about 30 yards here to this front pin. You can kind of see what I was talking about regarding the slopes in front of the green and how kind of protects anything that lands short is not going to run up. So it's a bit of a tricky chip from here because if you land anything short, chances are you're not going to run up into the green, and if you land anything on the green, it's all downhill, so it tends to not spin. So even if you have a short shot into this pin, it's not an easy one for sure. So I'm just trying to make sure that I get this on the green to give myself a putt. So we got ourselves on the green. I think you can see from here what I meant by if you land anything on the green, you tend to land on a downhill slope. So this is where I ended up, but to be honest, I'm over here very often. So I kind of knew this putt was just going to be a pretty big left to right breaker, and at this point it was just making sure I had the right speed. So a nice putt there to secure our second birdie for the day as we move on to hole 17, which is a par 3. So this hole is definitely a bit of a tricky one with today's pin position is tucked right. You can kind of see it's behind a bunker and there's a big slope in the center of the green. As a person that hits a draw, the only way that I knew that I could hit this close would be to kind of carry that tree on the right side. But if I do not draw it, it's not going to be in a good position. So even though I was trying to make a birdie here, I still kind of had to play the smarter shot, which was to aim for the flag, and if it drew to the center of the green, I would still give myself a putt versus trying to be too aggressive and ending up with a chip. So it's not super visible, but you can kind of see the slope that I was talking about. So if you hit towards the right of this slope, then it's going to feed towards the hole, and if you hit towards the left, it's kind of going to go towards the left. So you can't really see it, but you can see once I putt like right around here, it starts to really gain speed because everything past that just starts to go downhill. So not the easiest putt there for par coming back, but we've already missed a birdie, so we've definitely got to try to make this one and try to save the par on this par 3.
We've made it to the last hole of our challenge again with 2 birdies down. So this is a par 5, so let's see if we can get our third one today.
Our last hole, as I mentioned, is a par 5, but definitely not an easy one. I would say that it is one of the more difficult ones out here for sure. Starting off straight with a tee shot, you do need to hit a very good tee shot, especially because I play a draw again. You can kind of tell that this tee shot favors a little bit of a fade shot. Although if you miss it down the right, it is a hazard, but down the left, you're going to reach those bunkers. So the distance that I hit is like perfect for those bunkers, and if you're in those bunkers, chances are you're gonna have a pretty high lip, which is gonna make it difficult to come out of. And this is a pretty long par 5, so you do want to get as much as you possibly can out of every single shot. So I can't remember exactly how far I had, but I'm pretty sure it is more than 280. I wasn't even shooting the pin at this point because it was too far. I was just shooting how far it is to reach those bunkers. So like you can see, it's pretty elevated, so all I'm trying to do here is basically, since I'm on the fairway, hit as much as I possibly can and just try to leave it on the fairway again.
And then they let him come out walk. Yeah, I've never seen him.
So on the fairway again, we've got 111 yards. So this green also is a 3-tier green. The pin is all the way behind today, so I decided to go club up with a pitching wedge, and I decided to hit more of a punchy shot because I kind of want it to release a little bit to make sure that it gets up the slope. If I hit a 50-degree wedge, chances are it's going to spin pretty quick, so I don't think that I would be able to carry my 50-degree wedge 111 yards, so I decided to hit a punchy pitching wedge. So I thought I clipped that pretty nicely, but obviously from here you can't really see any part of the green. So I didn't know how good of a shot it was until I walked up to see a little tap-in birdie for our last birdie of the day.